how's it going? My name is Brandon, and welcome to Audio Addiction. We have our good friends, and I'm not gonna say their band name. And we're gonna. What do you do in the band, and what's your band name?
My name is Travis Miguel, and I play guitar in Fake Figures as well as Atreyu.
All right. So my first question is, how'd you guys start out forming the band? Was it just through mutual friends? Did you find each other on Craigslist? Just basically, what happened and what went down with that?
Basically, Fake Figures was started by myself and Bob Bradley, our bass player. I've known Bob for quite a number of years, pretty much dating back to when we were both kind of coming up in the Orange County music scene, myself being in Atreyu and him being in Scars of Tomorrow. And we played a number of shows when we were first starting out, and then eventually Atreyu took Scars of Tomorrow out on tour. And Bob and I have always had kind of we've always been kind of like kindred spirits. We have basically we run in the same circles of friends. Everybody he knows, I know, and vice versa. But we also, we have like a super similar taste in music and stuff. So we basically just decided to start a project, and then basically just kind of grab some friends along the way to join the fold.
Were the other friends that you got, obviously in Fake Figures, were they a part of other bands, or were they just people that you just knew and knew that played music?
Um, Pretty much. Well, I mean, I actually toured with our singer Russ Martin. He was in a band called Hotwire, and Atreyu actually went out on one of our first tours with Hotwire, and I'd always been a big fan of his. He was also in a band called Eyelid back in the day. And when Bob and I were putting the project together, kind of we were trying to think of singers that we would like to have, and we wanted somebody that sounded like the guy from Hotwire. So we figured, well, why not just call the guy from Hotwire Russ? So we hit him up, hung out for a bit, and yeah, he was down to do it. And then we figured we'd probably need a second guitar player. So Heather Baker, who again I've known for years, she was down to do it. And then eventually we got Steve Ludwig, who again is known for years, to play drums. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, we're all friends before we started the project.
That's awesome. My next question is, since you mentioned you are from Orange County and also of Atreyu, what are some of your favorite venues you like to play, or either local venues or ones that you've been to on tour?
Well, being from Orange County, Chain Reaction obviously it's basically a staple for bands to play when they come through Orange County. I remember going there when it was called Public Storage, and it was a different layout and everything. But yeah, I mean, I've seen countless bands play there. I've played there numerous times myself over the years. Trying to think of where. Oh, and well, the Showcase Theater, which is no longer existent, unfortunately, out in Corona, California. That was another place that pretty much every band has kind of cut their teeth at. And I believe there's actually a documentary coming out on the Showcase Theater sometime soon, which I'm actually really interested to see. And I think actually Bob Bradley, our Fake Figures bass player, is in the documentary as well. I think Brandon from Atreyu, he's in it as well. But yeah, those two places definitely hold a dear spot in not only in my heart, but pretty much you can ask anybody who came up in the Orange County scene, they'll definitely say those two spots were were super important for the scene.
Yeah, being on the East Coast, I heard a lot about the Chain Reaction. Obviously, they've been around for quite some time. I'd love to eventually go see a show out there, but yeah, that's awesome. My next question is, oh, what were you gonna say? Were you gonna say something?
No, no, no. Go ahead.
Okay, so my next question is, what are some of your musical influences?
Oh man, I could go on for hours about this, but I mean, I grew up listening to a lot of metal, obviously,
Of course.
a lot of punk and hardcore. Um, but yeah, I mean, my influences personally, I mean, they range from like everything from uh, Morrissey and the Smiths to Tom Waits to Prince to Slayer to Misfits to I mean, it's all across the board. Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said, when I was growing up, obviously punk, metal, and hardcore were. I had a healthy diet of that, but even as a kid, I always remember deliberately kind of going out of my comfort zone and not listening to stuff that I was familiar with. Um, you know, there was a free publication where we come from. It was called I think it was called Mean Street, and it was you could get it at any record store. But they'd always like cover the ground from like indie rock to hip hop to metal, and weekly I'd read that thing from cover to cover and just soak up all the information and check out all these different bands. So I think that had a lot to do with my musical upbringing.
That's sick. That I hope they have something out still like that. But that's actually cool. Just a mix of genres of anything from hardcore to like you said hip hop. That's awesome. My
Yeah.
next question is what have been some bands that you've been jamming more recently?
Oh man, what have I been listening to? I've been listening to a band called Ages. Um, I've been listening to the new Gojira record a
Nice.
lot lately. Um, what else? Listening to Brian Eno, Grouper, the latest Radiohead record.
Nice.
God, what else? Toxic Holocaust. Um, I was on a punk binge for a little while. I was listening to like Cox Bar and The Damned. Um, yeah, that's kind of the way things are today. I mean, being that music is readily available for consumption at the click of a button.
Of course.
It's almost hard to keep up with everything because there's so much freedom to just check out literally anything you could possibly think of. So
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, it's definitely anything you can get pretty much anything out. There's a lot of bands that, are working on stuff and bands that have put out stuff. So, running this channel and stuff, I totally understand the thought of just there's just so many bands and you can't think of them all and stuff like that. So, I totally subscribe to that. But since you did say you're from Orange County, like I've been mentioning, I know you haven't been playing as much, I guess, local shows, but what would you say are some like positives and negatives that you may have taken out, like either through Atreyu or through Fake Figures?
positive or negative things from you mean as far as being from Orange
Yeah,
County?
yeah, just like the local scene, the vibes and stuff like that.
Um, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I mean, any scene wherever it is, whether it's East Coast, West Coast, North, South, stateside, or overseas. Um, there's. I think a lot of people may take having a scene for granted because being from Orange County, I mean, it's a heavily populated area, so it's easy to start a scene. Whereas if you get, in the middle of Nebraska or something,
Yeah,
it's not as densely populated. So, bands aren't going to go through there as often. So yeah, I mean, definitely the positive thing was that being from Orange County, pretty much any given day of the week, there was a show going on. And and we didn't have to drive like 3 hours to the nearest venue to check out a show. I mean, and that aspect, I mean, that's a plus side, but on the flip side, we were kind of spoiled as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that till I actually left to go out on tour. Um, I've been all over the world now, and I've seen some really awesome places, but I'm definitely thankful and lucky to have grown up in Orange County. It definitely put things into perspective.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, like if you're, obviously if you're seen strong, it helps out a lot. But I also feel like, if you do live, like you said, in like Nebraska or something like that, where there aren't a lot of people, I think if you have the opportunity to try to culture that community and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So my next question is another fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover as a band, what would it be and why?
Well, you'd probably get five different answers from five different people. But for me personally, we were actually going to try and cover a song by a Placebo called Meds,
Nice. Okay.
and uh, we actually kind of started recording it, but I don't know what happened to it. It just kind of fell off the radar for a while. But it was, I was super super stoked to do it. So I guess if there's any song, it'd be that one.
Nice. Okay. So my next question is also another fun one. What is your favorite food to eat?
Favorite what?
Favorite food to eat. Sorry.
Favorite food. That's tough too because I love eating. Um, well, being that again, the whole Orange County, Southern California thing, uh, eating at In-N-Out Burger
Yeah.
is like, I mean, you ask anybody from Southern California and they'll rave about In-N-Out. And again, it's something that like we all grew up with, and another thing that we kind of take for granted. But yeah, I mean, if you were to tell me even any given time of the day, hey, do you want to go get some In-N-Out Burger? I'll say yes, whether I'm hungry or not, or you know what I mean. So yeah, that's always a safe bet with me.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends out on the West Coast, and I went out last spring, and yeah, In-N-Out Burger is definitely uh up there with some of my favorites in terms of like fast food sort of stuff. So I totally get what you mean by In-N-Out's really great.
It is.
So my next question is, if you could play another musical instrument, what would it be and why?
Um, Probably the drums. I remember being a little kid, and I actually wanted to play drums first. Um, there's just something really cathartic about just bashing away at something to a rhythm. But when you're starting out, usually when you're asking your parents for a drum set, they'll try and most likely try and steer you to another instrument because they're expensive, they're loud,
Yeah.
it's a pain in the ass to take them from point A to point B. But yeah, I mean, if I could, really sit down behind a drum kit and spend some time with it, I'd be really stoked.
Nice. Okay. So my next question is, if you could compile a dream tour, who would be on it?
Ooh, Metallica would be one of them.
Nice, of course.
Um, mostly just for selfish reasons. Metallica was the band that kind of like sent me on my way. I'm trying to think of other bands. I don't know, man. That's tough. I mean, because like I'll tour with anybody. Um, just getting an opportunity to play in front
Of
of
course.
people is awesome. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll just throw out Led Zeppelin.
Nice, of course. Yeah, they're great.
Because I mean, they're obviously one of the most important bands in rock and roll.
Yes.
Um, the Sex Pistols,
Nice. Okay.
just to literally just to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, again, it's kind of like one of those things where when you're not asked the question, you could come up with the answer like no problem. But then when
Yeah.
you're actually asked the question, you draw a blank.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of those moments
You're
right
having
now.
one of those moments, yeah.
Yeah.
My next question is, what is some of your favorite songs to play live? I mean, it can either be through Fake Figures or Atreyu, of course.
Um, see, with Fake Figures, we have a song called Caustic, which is always a lot of fun. Um, we also have a song called Something Deadly, which, if anybody's familiar with Fake Figures, it's probably that song. Um, with Atreyu, it kind of depends on which songs we've been playing on which tour. Because if you're playing a song like every night for
For
weeks or
ages,
months on
yeah.
end, you're gonna get kind of sick of it. Um, but yeah, with Atreyu, there's a song called Doomsday, which was off of our fourth record. That's always a banger.
Nice, nice. Awesome. My next question is a fun one. Favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Favorite TV show? That's tough. I don't really watch too much TV
Okay.
anymore. But trying to think. Mad Men was really good.
Nice. Okay.
I really like Mad Men. Bloodline was
Of course.
good.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as actual favorites, um, probably Breaking Bad.
Nice.
As far as movies, um, I've always been a fan of a movie called Ravenous, which is kind of definitely a lesser known movie. It came out in the early 2000s. It's kind of like a comedy horror movie about cannibalism. But yeah, if you can find that, check it out. And I've also been a lifetime Star Wars
Of course.
fan. So yeah, those will, and whenever a Star Wars movie is on, whether it's on TV, you can flip it on at any point in the movie, and I'll just sit down and watch it, no matter what.
Hey, yeah, that's great. I mean, yeah, I can definitely agree with the whole Star Wars thing. Any episode, come down and just watch it.
Even the prequels.
Even the prequels, exactly. My last thing is tell them about your band, where they can find you at. Do you have any, upcoming stuff? And yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you want to talk about anything about Atreyu coming up as well, you can use that time as well.
Well, Six Figures, we have a show on October 14th, I believe, in Fullerton, California, which is in Orange County at the Slide Bar. And I think we'll probably be booking some more shows after that as well. With Atreyu, we're going down to Australia with Bullet from a Valentine and Cane Hill for a couple of weeks in October. And then I think we'll probably be doing something in the middle of September. I can't really say much about that right now, but we'll probably let the news to be unleashed very shortly. And you can check out Fake Figures. I believe we have an Instagram. I think it's just at Fake Figures, and Facebook. I'm not exactly sure what the actual Facebook page address is, but just do a search. I'm terrible with that shit. He's the one that pretty much runs all that. And same thing with Atreyu. Just do a search. You'll find it.
Yeah. If anything, I can ask Bob about anything pertaining to that. But I'd like to thank you, Travis, for being on, taking the time out. I really appreciate it, and hopefully, I can catch both Fake Figures and Atreyu at some point in time. Do you find it hard to balance those two bands, or is it pretty simple?
No, it's pretty simple. I mean, Fake Figures isn't a full-time thing. It's more of just like a passion project for the five of us.
Okay.
But with Atreyu, obviously, it's more of a commitment because that's kind of like my my daytime job, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, the weird thing about being in a band, especially a touring band, is it's not like a 9 to 5 job. You have weeks or months nonstop, and then you'll have another like month of absolutely nothing going on. So it's very like stop and go, stop and go.
Yeah,
Um,
totally.
so yeah, when you're in those pockets of inactivity with one band, you can jump over to the other one.
Yeah, and I think that's cool that you're again doing two bands, and I wish you the best in Fake Figures and of course Atreyu, but you guys are very popular at this point. So
No, awesome, man. Thank you very much.
thank you again, Travis, for being on. I'll make sure to add links in the description for you to check out Fake Figures. Definitely go check out their music, especially if you enjoy Atreyu or you just enjoy music in general. Go check them out, and also make sure to subscribe to our channel here and make sure to like the video. And hopefully, if I can find it, I'll make sure to link their YouTube channel so you can check out their music. I'm sure it's on iTunes, Spotify, all the other sort of music platforms. But thanks again, Travis. I appreciate it, man.
Right on, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. Talk to you later.
Later.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, of course. If you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.